Hi again, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, all the colleagues from the world, really delighted to see you, even if it's online. And it's really nice to see some smiling faces, although it's in the night, afternoon, or in the early morning. Thank you for joining. But let me introduce myself for some of you who may not know me. But I am Yaya Yamamoto from JADA. Since 2014, I've led the legacy project, Play True 2020, Sports for Tomorrow. This legacy project is for Tokyo 2020 Olympic and Paralympic Games. I am delighted and I'm very humble to present to you how and why anti-doping was placed as the core pillar of this legacy project for the first time, as Vitlo mentioned in his opening speech. Also, I'd like to present to you what we have achieved through the Play True 2020 project and some learnings for the future. We started Play True 2020, Sport for Tomorrow, with our belief that sport matters in our lives and in society for our future. We started with a belief that sport can change the world. Sport matters so long as its values are protected. And in sport matters so long as its values are nurtured into a future for a future generation, like children and youth. So first of all, to help you to understand a little bit more, to begin with, I'd like to show you the video clip of Play True 2020 journey. What we hope to share with you through this clip is how the legacy project has progressed, something brought us together, how the leader athletes were engaged, and how all of us had the opportunity to express our hearts to sport. So please enjoy the clip to begin with.
This is the legacy creation of Play True 2020 as part of Tokyo 2020's legacy project by the Japanese government. Sport has infinite possibilities that must never be destroyed by doping or other factors. Play True 2020 firstly puts the question, what true value of sport do we want to protect from doping? By engaging the people of the world, Play True 2020 initiated various projects for the true value of sport. In 2013, the Japanese government announced Sport for Tomorrow, SFT, as a legacy project of the Tokyo 2020 Games. With anti-doping as a core pillar, Play True 2020 was launched.
As a host of Tokyo 2020 Games, we have extensively explored to make sport integrity and values matter in society, together with the people of the world.
Play True 2020 itself expresses our vision. Through positive sport values, develop future leaders, activate the values in people's hearts and actions, and focusing on youth. Penetrating and connecting these core spirits is the true value of sport. Based on this vision, 3 strategic areas, opportunities, contents, resources, are set to create synergies. We have expanded the existing opportunities to create a clean sport partnership, and also created new opportunities where role model athletes can be the leaders. For the Asia and Oceania regions in particular, we have initiated fostering a clean sport environment by developing leaders.
It was a great empowerment JADA provided us with, and I hope we will do more and we will continue to be one of the greatest NADO like JADA as soon as possible.
The Real Champion Education Package was originally developed to promote education. This evidence-based comprehensive package contains non-verbal original manga for the values-based and anti-doping education.
We use your education package for youth talented athletes and children athletes. It helped us a lot because your program is so easy to understand, like the way you do it for children and for youth talented athletes.
Leader athletes of the world took part in Play True Relay. The truth that each athlete has found through sport and in living was inscribed as a message in a makimono, a traditional Japanese scroll paper used to pass on important messages. This makimono is relayed as a message to the world and to the future.
My truth message was sports has the ability to positively influence the direction of humanity.
Through I Play True Relay project, everyone in the world is engaged to think about the true value of sport that could lead to becoming a principle in their own lives. Filter pose photos symbolizing true to sport, true to myself, and the truth messages expressing the meaning of true value of sport and truth inside you. Both of these are gathered and transformed into art. The Play True Planet Sport and Art booth was exhibited during the Tokyo 2020 Games, and visitors' messages were instantly integrated into a piece of live art.
一つの国だけではやっぱりこうスポーツの価値を高めることができない。国を超えた、そして、考えの違う、そしてスポーツも違う、そういう中で、みんなが思ってることを発信することが、それ全体がスポーツの価値の一つのムーブメントになったんじゃないかなと思います。
こんなにもつながるんだっていう本当にスポーツに秘められた魅力っていうものを大いに感じましたね。
プレイトゥルー2020が始まった時から本当世界中の人たちと一緒になってこうレガシーを作ってきたなというふうに思います。でそれがどんどん大きなムーブメントになっていってでたくさんの人たちに参加してもらえるようになってで結果的にそれ自体がレガシーになったんじゃないかなというふうに思います。
Play True 2020 Sport for Tomorrow so sees of sport values through various projects. We continue believing in the truth of sport that matters in society. We really hope to pass on this living legacy to the future.
Each one of us can create the future of sport. Each one of us cherishes the true value of sport differently. By connecting diverse values in sport, we can create and celebrate diversity in society together.
I think you saw some of your friends and colleagues in the video clip, but let me go into a little bit more details of how the paths and journeys of Play True 2020 Sport for Tomorrow. As the video showed, sport has infinite possibilities that must never be destroyed by doping or other factors. We believe that sport has infinite possibilities to change people's lives for better. So, sport can change the world. Rather than a mere focus on the anti-doping program per se, we have initiated our legacy creation with a little wider vision based on the true value of sport. Also, from the beginning, engagement has been the key word. We wanted to engage a wider range of partners. To start with, engage you, the clean sport community. We wanted to connect to you as we are all working together for clean sport. Surely, engage athletes of the world. And also, engage the public, people of the world. We wanted to engage as many people as possible for sport values. Together, we have taken a path to create legacy. Together, we have believed in the true value of sport. Play True 2020 may have been a very small step, but we are going through this legacy project to make sport better and make a better world through sport. Back in 2013, you can spot me somewhere in the photo. I remember clearly from this day. But back in 2013, Play True 2020 journey started just before the Tokyo Games was awarded. All the journeys began by talking to you, to our partners and the colleagues. We began by asking those questions on the screen, such as, what can we do differently when anti-doping was placed as a core pillar of the Games Legacy Project? How can we bring sport values to both sporting people and non-sporting people? How can we spread sport values through projects? How can we create values-based education, universally applicable or customizable? So from you, we were able to receive so many valuable inputs for the legacy project. With a lot of advice and inputs, we have gone back to the question, this answer, why do we exist? Why anti-doping community exists, or why we do really need anti-doping program itself. The reason is that we believe that sport has power. There is a true value in itself. So we have initiated our legacy creation with a little wider vision based on the true value of sport. We wanted to capture what we believed in the true value of sport under, as you know, Play True, already well known, and the catchphrase that you use as well in your organization, but the catchphrase by WADA, Play True. Within this Play True, we saw our focus and we tweaked a little bit to show our vision. P, as you saw in the clip, P as positive value in sport, L as developing leaders, develop athletes leaders, or leaders who embody sport values. A as activate our feelings for sport and activate various kinds of projects by bringing people together. Y, of course, we focus on the youth. All of these come together with true value, the true value of sport. So with these together with you, our journey was started. It started as be true to sport and be true to yourself. Throughout these 8 years of this journey, we have initiated various kinds of projects. In particular, as the video clip shows you, let me focus on these 2 projects. First one, the Real Champion Education Package. The second one, both Play to Relay and I Play to Relay. Let me start with the Real Champion Education Package. Play True 2020 Legacy was initiated with our thought on sustainability and development. We wanted to spread and be a supporter for education. In particular, values-based education, so that there will be sustainability in education programs for schools and for the athletes, for sure. The Real Champion Education Package was originally developed based around JADA's already implemented values-based education, and also based on our outcomes from social science research. Of course, we Japanese always struggle with language in the international sphere, not necessarily good at English, but a little bit stronger in manga or illustrations, capturing the meaning through animations. So as I mentioned, our journey started by discussing with global partners like you from ADOs, and also with the athletes. So from these inputs we received, we realized the customizable, non-verbal, illustration-based materials were missing. It was missing in the field. Not only did we want to fill the gaps, we also wanted to enrich our education program worldwide. So we tried. We tried to develop this original manga and the comprehensive package of both anti-doping education and values-based education. So the Real Champion Education Package, it aims to foster the role model in sport and in society. It intends to enhance your understanding of your values and also broaden your perspectives within yourself. Some of you have utilized those materials or translated them into your own languages. We have a number of languages already available by your translations. We're really, really happy to see your education program being enriched. And I think some of you know very well about this. You have implemented NUMO, activity-based, and this principle is fun for all and inclusive, but NUMO is actually new sumo. NUMO, and you can see in the photo from Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Yemen, Cerrado, Singapore, etc. They're pushing the ball, but it's a new sumo. But NUMO itself, with the basic principle for fun, for all, and respect. Also, we worked very closely with the Tokyo Organizing Committee from the beginning, which will be touched upon after my presentation in the panel. So for the Tokyo Games, we created the manga doping control series. Together with the ITA, IPC, and the organizing committee, we were able to reach out to the athletes at the doping control station during the games time. We feel that's a minimum, but not only that, we conducted with you some education sessions prior to the games. And we tried together to make the games clean, ensuring the true performance and the true medals at the Tokyo 2020 Games. This was created together with athletes, for athletes. So I think some of you know this is getting heavier, but this education package, but this was created, I think you can see it, together with athletes for the athletes. Oops, it's getting heavier. It was also implemented by various education sectors. Even though we know education requires a long path, we need a longer time to see the actual outcome from education. However, we will continue enriching those materials for fun, for all, and for respect. Of course, implementation and delivery of education with our determination, and of course, together with you. Let me coming into highlighting the values and focusing on play to relay and I play to relay. Some of you are well aware of this because you've been extensively involved with us. The focus of play to relay and I play to relay is, as you can see on the screen, it's the engagement and the values. As I mentioned earlier, as much as possible, we wanted to engage various people with different backgrounds and send out the true value of sport message to the world, making the values alive. In 2014, Play to Relay began. Play to Relay is to engage athletes of the world. The athletes were engaged by reaching out with some of you, and those Play to Relay athletes had a chance to send out their Truth in Sport, Truth in Me message. That is what true values they want to protect from doping. What did they learn from sport? What did they cherish those learnings into their lives, and also what true messages they would like to pass on to the public and to the future generation. We've done a number of extensive interviews over years, but through interviews, this has given the opportunity to those interviewed athletes to become global messengers of true spirit in sport. Through Play to Relay, as you can see on the photo, the athletes are showing their future pose photo. Their future pose is expressing, be true to sport, be true to myself. We worked with you, including international federations, major event organizers. We had 32 athletes from 20 countries who relayed their truth messages. From Asia, you can see on the screen, Jonathan Tan and Glenn Lin from Singapore as youth leaders, Casey Deepak from Nepal, Nurbek, the only para triathlete from Kyrgyzstan, snowboarder from Vietnam, Nguyen Thai Binh, Chen Yibin, the gymnast from China, and also Jaemin Lee. He's joining here with us today from Korea. Also from Oceania, Barbara Kendall from New Zealand, the well-known athlete leader, Jessica Fox from Australia, Peter from Tonga, you saw him in the video clip. He were joining us for I Play to Relay launch in 2018, and he was sending the video message, sport has positively influenced the direction of humanity. And of course, Ben Sanford, WADA Athletes Committee Chair. He's on the top photo in the screen. So thanks to your cooperation, we were able to engage such a wider range of athletes. Through interviews, the truth that each athlete found through sport and in living was inscribed as a message, as a message in the only one makimono. Makimono is a traditional Japanese scroll paper which used to pass on the important messages. Maybe it might be priceless because we all use internet, but it used to be traditional scroll paper, and that's passed on as an important message. We're so happy that this makimono has been relayed as a message to the world and to the future of sport for a diverse and inclusive society. During Tokyo 2020 Games time, this Play to Relay makimono was showcased. And after Tokyo Games time, this makimono is now displayed in Agora, the open forum of Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science and Technology, MEXT, in their governmental building. Building on from Play to Relay, I Play to Relay was born. It was mainly because of your call, including the athletes. We received some comments and advice and some push sometimes by our athletes committee members and those Play to Relay athletes by saying that why not opening this up to a wider number of people, to a wider audience. So Play to Relay was extended to non-athletes, non-sporting people, not necessarily liking all sport, and connecting everyone's true heart to sport as part of our legacy project. Some of you may remember this photo back in 2018. In 2018, I Play to Relay was launched by the JADA Athletes Committee members, and firstly, relayed by Daichi, Dr. Daichi Suzuki, the former Commissioner of Sport and Olympic gold medalist. I Play to Relay is for engaging everyone from children to 98 years old sport lovers. He always participates in international marathon. We try to engage as many people as possible. But I'd like to tell you the naming I Play to Relay has actually 3 meanings. First one, I for I myself. Second, in Japanese, it's I, it's true love of sport. I means love. true love of sport. And the third, in Japanese, it also means to meet. Au, ai means to meet. So in the meaning, I express the true love of sport that could be connected, met, and get united. We initiated collecting everyone's messages on the values of sport and also try to bring those messages together into a work of art. Thousands of people actually joined from all over the world, from international events, some events from NADOs, school children, and from non-governmental agencies. We've received so many comments also from those involved. They were very honest by saying it was difficult. It was very difficult to express the meaning. It was quite, shy to express. It was very difficult. What is sport for me? Never put into the words. But at the same time, we received some comment, like expressing the meaning of sport itself has a value in itself. It was eye-opening. And also, in the end, what we received was, it was actually fun to be connected, fun to see others' messages, how my value is shared with others. And what we see is that everyone's expressing themselves differently through drawing, calligraphy, and so on. Now, everyone's emotions come together into this work of art. We are really proud of this. We are so proud. The work of art is actually behind me here. So by having all of your messages and field pose photos you collected and sent to us, we were able to showcase something different, sport and art. So this art in Makimono, I think, thank you, it's coming, will be sent over to you. This will show our true commitment. And we do really hope you will like it. And I think you cannot really necessarily see because this makimono is quite long. I need to stretch myself. But we do really hope this will remember that our true commitment true to sport and true to myself. So this makimono we hopefully can reach to you. But with the COVID-19 global pandemic, the Tokyo Games was postponed to 2021. As Professor Suzuki mentioned, it's been already only 4 months ago, but the game was postponed. Throughout 2020, when all of us were forced apart by social distancing, we maintained our commitment, even though we cared for our societal situation. Now that we were faced with forced social distancing, I Play True Relay became something to connect, something for us to bring together, something to be united. In the end, during Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games time, with Japanese Olympians and Paralympians, we were able to showcase the sport and art. Play True Planet public booth. Actually, we had to reduce the number of activities by 75%. That is 3/4 reduction due to no spectators not being allowed in to the stadium, as you know, during the Olympics time. However, it was the opportunity to bring your messages together as art and bringing in your messages into on-site live art. You can see it on the screen right now that you can send out the message via Play True Planet, and we have been turning into your messages into live art, as you can see on the clip. And also, we will send you the URL link after the seminar so that you can see and you can send out the message, and we are turning that into live art. So that was a live art, and it's coming towards the end of my presentation, but I'd like to ask a question. What is a legacy? What is a legacy for you? What does legacy really mean for you? I think for me, there are so many answers that you may say in one word. And it's been difficult to come up with one word, to be honest. But in terms of tangible legacy from the games, it's often referred to like stadiums, infrastructure, like transportation, or technology like 8K or 5G transmissions, and including doping control stations with well-equipped doping control stations. Intangible is something we cannot see. So making the intangible visible is challenging because it's in our heart and it's in our mind. So we tried. The Sport and Art Initiative, it's something we tried to make invisible visible, to bring what's truly inside people's minds and hearts and try to represent those as the work of art. For me, Playthrough 2020 itself may have been a very small step. Our engagement to you through Playthrough 2020 may have been a very small attempt. However, we had a true belief to make sport better and make a better world through sport. So this 8-year path of legacy creation is made with our true belief and actions. The legacy of Playthrough 2020 itself has left us our legacy. The legacy of all of us together for the legacy of anti-doping, clean sport community of the world, and also for the people of the world. So when time comes, COVID-19 is still going around and still we are facing the difficult situation, but I'm sure when time comes, COVID-19 get calmed down and things will become a little bit more normal, where we can meet each other at this international seminar or international travels, become a little bit more easier. We do really hope to share with you more of those, our legacy creation, where we can meet. So let us continue spreading our actions for clean and true sport with our passion and commitment held high. So last and not the least, on behalf of Playthrough 2020, Sport for Tomorrow Legacy Team, JADA's team, I'd like to thank you for joining us together to create this legacy project. So going beyond Tokyo 2020, let's endeavor to continue creating for the true value of sport. So let me now conclude by leaving you with one last thought. So what is a legacy? What sort of message we would like to send you? So from me, I'd like to say, thank you. That's just keep going. So just keep going. Can you see it? Just keep going, be true to sport, and be true to myself. So with this, I'd like to thank you, and I'd like to conclude my presentation. Thank you very much, and ありがとうございました。